Okay, so today we're going to talk about slope-intercept form. The M is the slope or the movement. So the slope tells me how steep something is. So if I'm on a bicycle and the hill is really steep, then my bike's going to go really fast. Whereas if I'm on a hill that's not so steep, then my bike may not go quite as fast, correct? And then the B is the y-intercept or the beginning. It tells me on a graph where it crosses the y-axis. So it's starting on that line somewhere. Are we good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now what I want you to do is they gave you equations, and I want you to just identify what is your slope and what is your y-intercept. So on this first one, I'll do it with you. What is the slope for the first one? 1/2. We're looking at the coefficient in front of the x. That would be 1/2. And my b is the part that comes afterwards, which would be your 5. So I'd like for you to try the next two. So on the second one, what did you put for the slope?
2.
2. Remember that slope is always a fraction. So what would you put in knowing that? 2 over 1. Very good. My slope would be 2 over 1. And what about your b? 0. Very good. Because there's nothing here, so that's like plus 0. If I were looking at a graph and it crossed right here, what would that point right there be called?
0.
0, 0, which is called the origin. Very good. That would be the origin. Okay, and then for the last one over there, what did you put for your slope? Negative 3 over 1. And then my b would be 10. Great job. Okay? Now look at the next one. Now they gave you the slope and the y-intercept, and they want you to write the equation. So writing the equation, y equals mx plus b, what do you think we would put for the first one?
Y equals negative 5 over 1x plus 12.
Plus 12. Okay, when we're writing the equation, I don't care that this isn't a fraction. Okay, just when I ask you what is the slope, that's when I want it to be as a fraction. So if you put y equals negative 5x plus 12, that would be fine now. So I'm going to give you a second to do the other two. All right, so tell me, what did you get for the equation on this one? Y is equal to what? 3/4 x minus 2. Very good. How many of you had that? Good. And then the last one, what did you put? Y equals, well, this one's a little tricky because the formula is y equals mx plus b, right? Plus b. And then if I'm looking at this, I know that this is my b, so I know this number is going to be a 4. And my slope is 0. That means this number right here has to be a 0. So then I have y is equal to 0x plus 4. Well, what's 0 times any number?
0.
0. So do I really even need this at all?
No.
No. So y equals 4 is an acceptable answer. If you put y is equal to x plus 4, what number is in front of the x?
1.
Is that what I want my slope to be? So be careful, okay? Be careful on that one. Okay, on the next one, we're just talking about slope, rise over run. It's going to be a ratio, which means it's going to be a fraction. We have a formula, which we're not going to use quite yet, but know that it's coming. We have also talked about slope this way, haven't we? Whereas if I had a 2 and a 4, and let's make this a 5 and an 8, what do you have to do to get from 4 to 8? Add 4. How do I get from 2 to 5? Add 3. So my slope would be 4 over 3. Okay, it's the vertical change over the horizontal change. I want us to first take a look down here at these lines. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip that far. This line right here, is it a positive slope or a negative slope? A positive. And then just like what we've been doing, how do I get from L to M? How many do I have to go up?
2
Up 2
over 3.
and over 3. So this would be a positive 2 over 3. Now let's take a look at line GR. Is it a positive slope or a negative slope? Negative slope. So how do I get from G to R? Down 2 and over 5, right? I know that one's hard to see from your desk. Now, I want to caution you, if I have negative 2 over 5, or if I had 5 over negative 2, or if I had the negative out in front of that bar, oops, I did that wrong, I'm sorry. This would be 2 over a negative 5 is what I meant to say. Or if I had a negative 2 over 5, all three of those things represent exactly the same thing. It does not matter where the negative goes, but the number gets applied to, the negative gets applied to one of the numbers, not both of them. Okay? And then we have SP over here. Positive slope or negative slope?
Positive.
Positive. And how do I get from P to S? 2 over 1. Fantastic. Very good. Now, on your paper, you can't see the line, so I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it from your desk. Okay? Now, what they want you to do is they gave you a graph, and they want you to write the equation. So I'm going to give you just a minute, and look, you're going to have to look up here to see the grids. Okay? I can even make that a little bit bigger. Okay, it's the same pictures, you just don't have grids on your paper. Okay, so if I'm going to write the equation y is equal to mx plus b, where would I start? Wouldn't I start at the b?
Yes.
So on this one, which one's my b? At 5, correct? So I know this is going to be y is equal to some number x plus 5. Is it a positive slope or a negative slope?
Negative.
Okay, so if I'm riding on my bicycle right here, and I always read, just like I read the book, from left to right, this would be going downhill, so that's going to be a negative. Now, how do I know where to find the slope? Where do I put my second point? I have one point right here.
It goes through a line.
Right here?
Yes.
Put it from the 2
No,
across.
right down by the arrow. Go down. Right there.
Right here?
What about the 2?
Or you can do it by the 2.
Or I can do it up here by the 2, right where it crosses those grid lines. I want it to be a pretty point. So from here to there, I would go down 1, 2, 3 over 1. Miss Ramsey, if I can do that, then why can I use this point right here? Because that would be down 3, 4, 5, 6 over 2. Well, if I reduce 6 over 2, what do I get?
3 over 1.
3 over 1. So I'm coming out with the same slope. Okay? Questions? Good. Now you try the second one right here. Here's the second one. I want you to give you a second to... So again, y equals mx plus b. I'm always going to do my starting point first. So what's my starting point? Negative 6. Is it a positive slope or a negative slope?
Positive.
Positive, because if I were on my bike, it would be right here and I'd be going uphill, correct? So it's a positive some number x minus 6. So if this is my first point, what's my next point? Couldn't it be right here? Or right here? Or right here? So to get from that point to the next point, I would go up, over. So what's my slope? 1 over 1. Or if you just write it as y is equal to 1x minus 6, that would be fine.
What if it's to X?
Well, okay, so what if I just wrote x, y equals x minus 6? That would be fine as well.
What about that 6 over 6? That's 1.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. 6 over 6, 5 over 5. So what you're saying is you use this point and then maybe this up point up here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I would take that. Great question. Okay, next one, back here. Same thing, let's write the equation. I'm going to get the view back because you have these on your paper.
Dang, that's unidentified in what is it called? Oh, it ain't zero. I know. I'm just trying to familiar. It's a
Yes, because that will make it U. No.
no. It's a specific name.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
So y is equal to mx plus b, right? Where does it cross the y-axis?
All of them was.
It doesn't, nowhere.
Yes, it does.
Okay, how do I get from one of the points to the next point? Do I have to go up 1? Up 1 and over how many? 0. If I plug in 1 divided by 0, my calculator would give me an error.
So
It is not possible. It is undefined.
That's what I
Okay.
Because it makes a U.
It's undefined.
Well, I don't know about this U thing. What do you? I don't understand. Are you talking about a parabola? Are you talking about a parabola? I'm not. I think you have something confused. But that's okay. Listen real quick. Shh. There's still an equation. This is not the format that the equation is going to be in. Okay. So what I want you to do on your paper is I want you to put 3 or 4 little points on your paper. And I want you to tell me, not tell me, but write down on your paper what are those coordinates. Okay, put 3 or 4 dots on that line, and I want you to tell me what are those coordinates. Okay? Did you do it? And what did you notice about them? Well, they're undefined, but what do you notice about these?
They all line up.
What are those?
Negative thirds.
But aren't those my x's?
Yes.
And these are my y's?
Yeah.
Right? So all I know is that my x's have to equal what?
-3.
Did that happen with all of yours too? They were negative 3s?
Yes.
So what it means is no matter where I am on that line, my x value is a negative 3. This is the formula for that. Because it never crosses the y, and my slope is undefined.
This one's going to equal y equals.
Okay, so I want you to try this other one real quick. Okay, so if I'm looking for my b, what's my b? Where it crosses my y-axis? So where is that one? It's at 3.
Oh, that's at 3. I thought it was.
So y is equal to x. Is it a positive slope, a negative slope, or we're not sure?
It's at 3.
Well, if I get from that point to the next point, do I rise or run any? Do I rise up and down any? Do I move over 1, right? So this slope would be 0 over 1. If I plug 0 divided by 1 in the calculator, I would get a 0.
What is the other name for that?
0.
I got 0.
Right? 0 times x is...
Undefined.
No, it's not undefined. This one is undefined. This one is 0. There isn't anything there, so y is equal to 3. Again, if you were to pick some points and you were going to write them out,
Your Y will always equal 3.
your y will always be 3. So this one would be what? 3, 3. This one would be negative 2, 3. And this would be negative 4, 3. Notice that those y's are always 3. Okay? Alright, now, here are equations and graphs. Now I want you to take those equations and graph them. I'm going to give you a second to do that. Okay, so on this one we had 4. We plugged in the 4 for my y-intercept and we went down 3 and over 4. On the next one, my b is 3.
3.
So I'm going to count up 3. I have a positive slope.
So it's going to be
So up 2 and over 3. Up 2 and over
3.
Okay? We're good? Alright. Excuse me. Alright, so now what they're asking here is, can I just look at this and decide what's my slope or my y-intercept? So on this first one, can I just look at it? What would be my m?
Your M will be 2.
Nope.
Yes.
It would be what?
2x. Oh, 2 over 1.
2 over 1. Very good. Slope is always a fraction. And then my b would be what?
B is 3.
Is 3. Very good. What about the next one? Can I just look at it?
You can, but
No. First, I have to make sure it's in the y equals mx plus b format.
so you subtract 5.
You're going to subtract 5x from both sides.
Yeah.
So now y is equal to, what do I want first, the 7 or the 5?
The 5.
5. So it'll be minus 5x plus 7. So somebody tell me what's my m?
Negative 5 over 1.
Good, negative 5 over
And
1.
7.
And my b would be
7.
7. Okay, I want you to try the next two now that you're smarter. Alright, so on this one here, I need to get the y by itself first. So what would I
You
do?
subtract 4.
Subtract 4. Can I subtract 4 from the 9?
Yes.
Yes.
Like terms.
Because they are like terms. Very good. So then that would give me 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. Now